have. Just a couple more things here as we summarize your book. You talked about grinder, and I'm going to ask you to explain that in detail, but I'm going to kind of give you my take on it ahead. So when I was junior enlisted, senior enlisted, junior officer, etc., there's always those people who stay late, right? They're there late and they say, oh, he's got no life. They're there late. I always thought, especially as a team, when we're there late, night after night after night after night, I just always thought to myself, staying late isn't going to like get something done that we couldn't get done tomorrow morning. Now, I'm not talking about, war zone stuff, but I'm talking about the kind of day to day. But I just always thought to myself, if we can't end the workday at a reasonable time with some degree of consistency, that's poor leadership, because we have tasks, we have things to do, and we have a time frame to get it done. Is that Parkinson's rule? I think we need to wind up at a reasonable time every day. And if there's things that distract from getting the job done, save those distractions until we're all drinking beer under the tree or we're done for the day. But can you talk a little bit about that, about this grinder mentality?
So there's kind of a positive and a negative, right? As I'm listening to you just now, I was thinking about officers, and also later on in business leaders within a larger corporation that did all this kind of overwork, stay late to make a point for optics reasons. In other words, it was their way of wearing a t-shirt up and down the hallway saying, I'm a grinder, by making other people stay late. True grinding to me, the way the term's used nowadays, is a dedicated work ethic, a willingness to complete a critical task in the time that's required. So it's not stretching things out. It's not make work to look busy or to look productive. It's actual productivity. There are people that are workaholics, and you've got to watch them. You got to make sure that what they're working on is really critical, that it's worth staying late, and you have to help them, maybe coach them or mentor them, so they understand that what's critical and valuable to the organization, or time critical. Thank you. That's fantastic that you're willing to work so hard and do such a good job in such a small amount of time, or with few resources. But it doesn't do you any good, and it doesn't mean do any good if you stay extra or stay late to just do general activities because you just don't like to leave the workplace until everything's all tidied up. That's kind of counterproductive. So I'd rather you didn't do that. So that way I can help control the overwork, workaholic person. Trying to find the true grinder that is smart enough to know how to turn a switch on, turn a switch off, kind of like when to play, when to work. Like most kind of clarity, they're rare, both in leaders and in task workers. I've never believed in I'm not a big meetings fan. I don't like meetings, but for some reason people think that there's a lot of meetings on their schedule that makes them look productive or hyperactive equals
more important.
Or more important, because look at all the stuff that I'm managing. Look at all the people they're waiting for me to be their leader. Now the flip side of that is being comfortable with letting everybody, you give them the task and you step back and you let them hit it, you let them execute. And the only time you have to step in is if you have somebody who wants to be a workaholic. But I find that once you kind of set the tone and watch your workforce and your leaders, you can go in there and tweak and kind of adjust some of that with just some words and some guidance, and it kind of works itself out. And especially if they're doing it just for the optics. Grinding is a noble thing when it's applied to something that's critical. It's probably debilitating if it's applied to everything in general.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's never valuable if it's associated with optics and trying to look productive.
That's, I think you just nailed it. You summarized that perfectly. Again, 35 people on my team, we accrue vacation time. We have normal working hours. Every now and then we'll extend working hours if the customer demand is there. But I want people to take their vacation time. I want them to take their time off. Burnout can happen too if leaders don't manage the grind, if you will, or if leaders are creating the grind. You can really burn people out, and then they're looking to move on.